Listo.
Mike, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, so I will start with this question. So imagine that you are an engineer in a company and you are in charge of the automation of a new production. Oh, it's not a new production line, it's a production line that has been in the company for a lot of years. And mainly the production line is composed of 6 CNC machines. The cycle time for the parts that are produced in the CNC is 10 minutes.
Okay.
And right now you are using 3 workers or 3 operators that they are just placing cycle start. And the task is to automate that production line. You can use, do you have budget for that? And the main question is, what are the steps or the things that you will consider for automating that manufacturing process?
What was that about the budget?
There's no restriction,
Okay.
but of course you have to keep it as low as possible.
Okay. The first thing I would do is establish how many workers we want to have after the automation. If we want to have no workers, or if we want to have one worker just supervising and clicking, and after that would help me determine, for example, if the raw material is going to come from someplace else, where, be it close or far away, it's probably going to come by conveyor belts. I would probably use, I'd say, 1 main conveyor belt and then bring out the other, what was it, 5 machines?
6.
6 machines? Well, then I would bring out the other, probably the 6 from 1 main conveyor that brings all the material. This is considering that they all have the same, they all make the same part.
Yes.
That makes it easier in that it's always the same material, and since it's always the same cycle time, that can be easily automated, the delivery process. Then I probably include a robot similar to the lab we have here. Probably hanging would be the most convenient to bring the material from the conveyor belts to where they have to be in the machines, since they always have to be in the same spot because it's always the same part. I would look at the possibility of adjusting the vise on the machine with the robot, although I think it's a little difficult. If we were going to leave an operator there, that would be probably his first task. Oh, by the way, before this, I would first evaluate how things go, right? I wouldn't just start pouring money into it. Having a notion of how it works, then I would implement the conveyor belts. I would implement the robots. I'm not considering how the material goes from storage to conveyor belt. We obviously did an example about that, but I don't know the storage. Then the task of telling the machines when to start. I think it could be adapted to be done with the same robot. I would probably use a 6-axis robot and incorporate also a 7th axis to move along the machines.
And one important question.
Yeah.
Should you start the milling process at the same time for the 6 stations?
No, it would be
Okay, so the next...
to set 5 different part zeros.
Yes.
I would use G codes from G54 to G59, and the procedure we did in the lab in the CNC.
Perfect. And in the automation level pyramid, in what level are we right now in the front factory?
So it goes from sensors and actuators to robots and PLCs and HMIs. And the next would be the SCADA system, technically we did reach the SCADA system.
So we're at order, right?
So we'd be in the third level. It's like, I don't remember the name of it, physical control and something else.
Okay, perfect. And what type of industrial network do you use for the ABB robot and the PLC?
Profinite.
What type of movements can you do with the ABB robot?
Joint, linear, and circular.
When should you use the linear movement?
If, for example, we do a pick and place, and right before the place we have an above position usually, depending on the application. From the pick to the above place, we can do it with joint. But if we want to go straight down and try not to move any other parts, we would do linear.
Perfect. And my last question will be, did you have fun with the factory challenge? And what was the most important thing that you got from the challenge?
I did. I learned about I learned a lot about the whole automation process, but for me the most important thing that I got was the leadership part and the soft skills in dealing with people and getting two different teams to collaborate and getting people from my own team, assigning each person the correct tasks, because I knew I couldn't give Muñoz Dedo the programming of the robots. So I learned a lot, much more than expected.